posted on why Spearpoint Publishing and why you need to watch that video. Our dream is to make people's dreams come true. So many of us have books to write inside of us, and yet we think we cannot do this. And after years of being involved in publishing, we have made numerous authors' dreams come to pass. But now let us get back to Nomsa. Nomsa, when you came to me with your manuscript, I've read the manuscript, and you can ask the people in my household how I spoke about that book. I couldn't put it down. It was a book that really spoke to me as an individual, and I'm not even affected directly by autism. But your life, the way you share your heart, how you've been so honest and transparent regarding the challenges in your whole life, that was an encouragement to me. So I want to say thank you for writing this book, and thank you for the privilege to publish this book for you. So this book talks about a lot about your life and your battles. But before we can continue with the accolades, why this book?
Why this book? I think when everybody gets born, God puts within them a vision or a purpose, and we are all here on earth to fulfill God's mission and purpose. And sometimes we really don't understand when we go through various things in life that whatever that we go through, maybe it's actually God's divine plan for our life. So for me to be able to write this book, it wasn't something that was easy, but because I could see how the events in my life occurred, that it was actually something that showed me, there was something that actually showed me that all the struggles that I went through, it was because God had a purpose and a mission for my life, starting from the time that I chose my career. So I wanted to write this book to share my journey of an autism mom, because autism is a condition that it's a lifelong condition, and I could also say it's a life-changing condition in a sense that it changes one's life completely as a person as well as a family. It's not something that one is ever prepared for, because even the journey of motherhood. So I wanted to share my journey as a mother. I wanted to share my journey as a woman. That as a woman, you're going to go through various things in life, be it your marriage and other things that will want to make you to give up. But again, I also wanted to share my faith in God. And I think more than anything, my faith in God is what kept me grounded. And this book is a form of support system and a reference to people who are going through various challenges in their lives, to say that God is able to give you the strength to continue, and that you have to continue to trust in God to be able to overcome some of the life's challenges. And again, to educate the public about autism, to say, because autism is a life-changing condition. So how are we as a community, as people, are able to understand families, and what support are we giving families raising their children living with autism? So for me, I needed to share and be actually vulnerable so that people can relate to me as a mother, not as a speech therapist or any other accolades, but just being bare and just saying that this is what I went through, and regardless of my background, and just being vulnerable. And I think when you share a story from that place, people are actually able to relate, because you are giving it all from your heart. So I wrote this book specifically with that in mind, that I wanted it to be relatable.
Thank you, Nomsa. And I appreciate, sometimes I have interviews with people and they just answer yes or no, and they struggle to get something to be said. and that you are definitely not a yes or no person. So thank you for the elaboration on why this book. This is a very interesting cover you have.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
This daisy that you see in the middle of this book, it's actually my mom. It's a sign. It's a symbol for my mother because she actually passed on, and her name was Daisy. And you'll see later in the book, there's somewhere where I talk about her and how she influenced some of the decisions and the things I did in my life, and how she was constantly there as a mother to support me, and the type of a woman she was. Very humble, very loving, a very sweet and gentle soul. So, like I said, I dedicate this book to my mother, and hence I put this particular flower as a symbol for my mother because her name is Daisy. And then you can see that there is three-strand cord. I'm not sure if you know the scripture that says as a three-strand cord is not easily broken. And just like that cord, I believe that I am also unbreakable. And I believe that God is the glue that kept my family together, the glue that kept my marriage together, the glue that kept me going even at times when I felt like giving up, and that I didn't break down because I had God by my side. So this is a symbol of actually God, you know, if I'm
What is interesting for me is that you share your testimony in your book, your highs and your lows. There were lows and there were highs and there were challenges, but you were honest. So, especially for us as Christians, we tend, somebody asks you, "Oh, I'm fine, praise God." But inside, you are broken. Inside, you are demotivated. And when people look at your success, they never understand the challenges you went through to get to that place. And you are a successful businesswoman. You're a successful professional. Then people might not think that there were challenges. How did Bongi's diagnosis with autism affected your family?
Well, the journey.
If you can do it in brief, because the whole book is about.
Okay, basically, Bongi's diagnosis actually challenged me so much. It really opened me up to a world of autism that I knew nothing about. Not even my educational training ever prepared me for this journey. It really was something that I wasn't prepared for as a mother, considering that it was my first child, my firstborn son. And as a family, we were expecting a normal developing child. So it affected my marriage. It really affected how my kids and my other children interacted with him, because him being autistic, it also affected how he relates with others. And his diagnosis, it was something that I struggled to come to terms with. And you will see in the book where I say the things where I went to seek help, because when you get a diagnosis, it's not easy for you to accept, and you have to go through the 5 grieving stages, and be it your denial, your anger, and what more else? Your anger, denial, resentment, and bargaining. Yes, and you bargain and all that. So I basically just said dealing with the diagnosis is basically something that's not easy. And now it's also helped me to understand my clients that come to my practice, as to when we give the news to them, we have to be sensitive in a manner as to how we give out the news to the family, and also give them time to actually be able to understand and accept the actual diagnosis.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the biggest mistake the community is making on people with autism is the first thing that comes to mind when I've spoken to some people is that people with autism are intellectually challenged, and it's far from the truth. And that places a pressure on the family, especially when you go on holiday or go to a restaurant. it's difficult.
Yes, and people need to understand that autism, our children living with autism, they see and perceive the world differently. And they are smart, some of them are smart in their own special ways. It's just us as people that really need to understand them. I said one thing that I've specified in the book, that it's not about changing my son to fit into the community, but for me it's actually changing the world to be able to fit my child in, because we are all special and different in our own ways. The same way as some people are dark skinned, they call you that you are white and I'm black, and I believe that we are all God's gift, and we all have something to contribute to the society. And I believe our autistic children are here to teach us a lot about unconditional love and acceptance. So through this journey of raising my son, I've actually learned so much.
And as you said, unconditional love. In actual fact, they are the true people. There's no filters. Because we are hiding behind filters. Society has taught us this is the way to act in a certain way, and this is the way to act in another way, and that places a lot of pressure on us to fulfill the filters. Now this leads me to another question I want to ask you. You've opened the can of worms, let me completely open it. You've said the community is not ready. We will not change our children with autism. We have to change our community to become more accommodative. And I think the problem is a lack of understanding. Once you understand, we will accommodate and love. And you have said publicly that you are a Christian. Do you think our churches are ready or geared for children with autism?
I personally not have found that to be the case. We have not found churches yet that are accommodating of children. Not only children though, but the entire family. In ministry, there's women's ministry, there's men's ministry, there's youth. Where in the ministry of church do we ever concentrate on mothers? So in the book, I do talk about mothers, because this is where we have all these children with various conditions, be it a child with mental disability, physical disability. But when they come to church, remember, a child living with autism or an autistic child, they have sensory issues where if the sound is too loud, like if the sound is loud, it's actually much more louder. They perceive, their senses are such that they perceive things much more differently than we do. So in churches, there's like bands, and there's the songs being the church band, and the music can be a little bit too loud for them, and as a result they will always be covering their ears. And another thing is that they may struggle to sit down, because even that on its own is some of them are hyperactive. So then the church doesn't need also that your child makes noise. And if your child makes noise in church whilst the pastor is preaching, people will tell you need to take him out of the church. So what will that do to you? You'll obviously have to sit outside the church and not be inside the church.
And you can just stay at home.
Yeah, so we need to think of ways where we say, maybe on a particular day, like even if it's a Saturday, but there'll be a day for special needs families where they could actually bring their children, and we have caregivers. People can just volunteer to say, we will be taking care of your children whilst you come in, but we still need other people to still come on that particular day to actually support these families. And also offer a bit of counseling with regards to that, to say, we understand your condition, and we understand, and also give support. Can we actually have people who can volunteer to say, can I come to your house one day just to see how best I can assist you? Because sometimes people don't even need money. people just need somebody to be there. You know, I've seen it with the moms. Even when I invite them to certain events, just getting onto the taxi on its own, it's overwhelming. Just even you saying, I'm gonna get into the taxi and take my child to church.
So you become nervous.
It's like, okay, and what's gonna happen if he starts scratching other people that he's sitting next to? So before just the planning of saying I'm going out with my child on its own, it's actually very difficult. So over and above the challenges that we have, we need other people to make it even a little bit easier in saying that the church can say, this is how we're gonna try and accommodate your children.
I think the most important thing of church is we need to break away from the term church.
Yes.
And we need to become a household.
Yes.
With family.
Yes.
And we have transformed our church 10, 12 years ago from church to family.
Wow.
And our children are allowed to be children in the house. Some of them are even walking up to the pulpit, standing next to me while I'm preaching. Just to give them freedom to enjoy church. Church must never be a punishment.
Yes.
And for children to be in church for 2 hours, and there are churches that I've attended that have been 4, 5 hours. How can you expect any child, not even saying
just
to be in church and be quiet? So tell me a little bit more about the mothers of children with autism. Your passion.
The Mothers of Children with Autism is an organization that I started from my own need to support other mothers, because at the time of my son's diagnosis, maybe things have changed, but what I found, it was like, your child is autistic, and that was it. There was no follow-up to say, you need to go for counseling. Yourself and your husband need to be guided through the process. It was more about all the clinical intervention that could be done, and you as a person was sort of like forgotten. It was, now the focus was just, you going to have to do 1, 2, 3, like all these tests, but nobody actually bothered to say, how are you feeling today? Okay, and have somebody that holds space for you to be able to have that place where you tell them how you're feeling. So for me, it was actually very difficult in that sense, that I think because I knew about autism, I knew what I was facing in the sense of what it means, but I didn't know just to be in the journey. When I started experiencing it and seeing that my son is autistic, it was very, very difficult.
What is the next step for Mokwa?
Then I decided for Mokwa that I start the support group, so that mothers who get diagnosed can be in our WhatsApp group, where we actually share information. And some of the moms actually in this platform, they actually share their own journeys of the struggles, and even we still celebrate the achievements as well. So it's just to have that sisterhood. And so this within MOPA, then we also do things like the high tea. The high tea is the place where we come together, because the vision of MOPA is to actually empower mothers so that their families are better equipped to deal with the child's condition. So hence we do events such as the Family Fun Day. If you've seen me this week, I was actually hosting the Family Fun Day, just to get families together and be in an environment that your child won't feel judged, because all the moms are going through a similar situation as yours, and it's nice to be in the place where your child is allowed to be him or herself. Those children that walks in their tiptoes, and you understand with autism that sometimes our kids don't even want to wear shoes because they've got sensory issues, and you'll be finding some kids. It was such a beautiful picture to watch, that we've got these beautiful kids that it's only our mindset that needs to change, like I said, but they're actually such wonderful human beings. My son was like hugging and kissing me, and just to witness that when we come together as families and we realize that if our society can be so accepting, we would have such a lovely place to live in and be free from the stigmas of being judged. So I think MOPA is giving a person, like one, the opportunity to go out there, to be with other people, and again to socialize, because you could be stuck in your home because you're scared of going somewhere, because even your friends don't even understand your child. So being with MOPA moms says, I can identify with these moms, and I would like to be in a space where I personally feel accepted. And yeah, we host high teas, and we also share information, educational information on how to do various things like to claim for tax and all that, as well as how to apply for your disability grant, actually care dependency grant or disability grant for your child. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Nomsa. So I'm very excited that because today is the first time you've seen your book.
Yes.
Just before the interview, I opened up the boxes and I gave her a book, and I want to congratulate her on this huge, huge achievement. When I spoke to her the very first time, she was nervous to know if she was able to do this, and it was a great, great success from our side. And I know many people will benefit from this book. She is talking from the perspective of a mother. It doesn't say fathers don't have problems with children with autism, but it comes from her perspective. And if there's a father out there who wants to write a book from a father's perspective, come and speak to me. We will help you get that dream done. So when people want to get hold of you, want to order this book, how can they do this?
Okay, people can actually get hold of me via the Facebook. You can inbox me. You could either send me a message on 082-420-6958, and
So you can just repeat that.
082-420-6958. And the book can be given at this point. If you send me a message now, you will get the book at a discount, because at this moment you've tuned in, and I really appreciate your support, and I'll give you a discount as soon as you send me a message today. Then you know that you'll be lucky to get it at a discount, and the book will be going for 150. I would like to make it accessible to anyone. You do not necessarily have to have an autistic child to buy the book. Buy it and empower yourself, so that when you see an autistic child out there, that you could be able to understand. And again, you can buy it for other people that you've seen who might have a child living with autism. So I would really, really appreciate your support. And I also want to thank you. Before I forget, I would like to thank Dr. Pretorius. He's not just a doctor, he's actually a pastor. And I believe that it was at God's divine intervention that you got hold of my manuscript when I actually felt discouraged, feeling like I can't do this. But just getting that message from you to say that this book has touched you, it gave me the go ahead to say, let's do it. Because I believe if it has touched you, then surely there's many other people that would find this book beneficial, because it also has scriptures. It's also a word-based book where I quote scriptures, and it portrays my life as a Christian. Yes, I'm not perfect, but I believe in God, that I can say that it could also help other people in that sense.
Thank you, Nomsa. So the 150 rand, that is the pre-launch discount price.
Yes.
So if you've missed a number, you can contact me on my Facebook page, and I'll also send your details through to Nomsa. Because of the Property Act, I can't give you the numbers, but I can give you the contact I'll give your contact details through to Nomsa. Get hold of this book. There's only a few hundred available, and the launch is end of May, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the end. It will be on the 27th or 28th. We're still gonna confirm that. I will be issuing out the invite soon, so please look out for the invite. And it would be lovely to come to the launch, because we will be having some of the people that are in the book to actually also talk about their stories, because it's not just my journey, but it's my journey within the autism space, and the people that I have met that have touched my life and that I've also touched their life as well.
Let us mess up Nomsa's planning and buy all the books and sell all the books before the launch, so that he has to reprint before the launch again. So Nomsa, thank you very much for being here this morning and sharing your heart with my Facebook friends. And I know this book will be a huge success and will make an impact and a difference in many, many people's lives. I appreciate you being here. Any final words from your side?
Thank you so much, Dr. Pretorius, for giving me this opportunity, and may God bless and enlarge your territory. Also, for me to have written this book is not just for making sales, but the proceeds of the book. If you buy the book, you are actually contributing towards our adult facility for autistics. When they turn 20, they don't have anywhere to go. So we've started a facility in Walkerville. So the proceeds of this book will go towards building. The facility is actually there, but also to help with resources that are needed, because currently we don't have funding. So this book is mainly meant for that, to get the funds in so that we can support the facilities. So thank you.
Now you have a good reason for buying not just one copy. Buy 3, 4, 5 copies and give it out. It's winter time. People is looking for something to read. When it's cold, you're sitting under your blanket in front of the fire or the heater. Not heaters because we've got load shedding, but in front of your fire. Buy a book, give it away to somebody else. And for you that are still wondering, must I write a book? Come on, after this morning, you are challenged. I'm challenging you. Books is the best way of leaving a legacy for somebody else. Books will outlast our lifespan. So invest in a book, start writing. You have a story to tell. Don't die one day without written at least one book. So contact me and I will willingly help you establish your book. Thank you very much, Nomsa, for being here this morning. Thank you for watching. I know we've been a little bit longer than our normal time, but that is fine. It was a good interview, good information. God bless you and keep you. Make His face shine upon you, and may you have peace.